Good morning and happy Thanksgiving. I've got my sparkly pillow and drinking my coffee. I worked last night and I've had a crazy week, so this is just the best I can do right now to put out a video. So here I am, and I posted on my community board that I had written last night on social media that this shooting in Washington, D.C., first they said the National Guard members the two men were unalived, but I don't believe that they passed away. But so the whole thing, like Kash Patel, they don't know what they're talking about. I instantly felt that the whole thing was orchestrated, and it really feels like Butler, PA, all over again. And you notice there's a pattern, right? There's a pattern. 45 gets in trouble. The E files are about, the Lepstein files are about to come out, and then some shooting happens. It's just like it's like clockwork. Like, oh, here we go. Epstein files are going to come out. Oh, there's another shooting. There's another event. And notice that he didn't release the files. He signed the papers. He didn't release the files. So he signed it. I signed it, he says. Files didn't come out. I mean, little bits and pieces have come out, but here's the thing. Here's the big story yesterday, right? Was that the FBI was ordered, or whoever, I believe it was FBI, was ordered to scrub his name out of the files. And it was like clearly documented that this was an order and that they did it. They followed orders and they did it. And they were scrubbing his name out of the files. I mean, it's just like all this happening right in front of us, and we're supposed to go, okay, it's the president, so if the president says it's okay, then it's okay. No, that's not how it works. It must be bad. I mean, like every time when they're about to come out, and redacted, obviously, but they must be so bad. What's in their videos, the pictures, videos, all that, activities must be so bad that he has to have all these false flag events. And so, okay, so go back here. So here's the thing. So the shooter who shot these two National Guard. So here's the thing. The other day, there was a request from the government. Please let us put the National Guard everywhere in cities. And they're like, no, you can't do that. So then they have the judge says, no, you can't do that. And then this thing happened. And now 45 instantly, like within the hour, sends orders to have like 500 National Guard members sent out. And then all across the U.S., right? Don't tell him no. That's the thing about a narcissist. Don't tell a narcissist no. If you tell them no and they do shit like this, well, I'm going to do it even worse. You told me no, I'm going to do it even worse. And that's what he's doing. It's just like, God, I wish that we had in our system a way to deal with a narcissist, but really he shouldn't have been on the ballot. He shouldn't be in the White House. Okay, so I want to try to unravel this the best way I could. So the first thing was he asked for the National Guard. They said no. So then this whole thing. So then he feels like that gives him the right to send off a whole bunch of National Guard right before Thanksgiving. So here they are, these guys. And if you don't know what the National Guard is, it's generally a whole bunch of, men and women who, I believe, because my brother was in the Army, and he did his 2 years, and then he joined the National Guard, and you have this option to be, I believe, in the National Guard for a couple of years, and you kind of get paid, but you're at home. You're living a normal life, and you get called up, you go do whatever. There's a flood, you go, you serve. There's an event, you go, you serve. So you're kind of like standby military, right, to help the country at will. And so these people were at home living their lives. They've already served in the military, but they're at home and they're going to have Thanksgiving. Now because of 45, the narcissist doesn't get what he wants. Now their Thanksgiving and possibly Christmas is ruined. And they're probably not going to get paid because he doesn't pay anyone. So all because of the Epstein files. It drives me nuts. But yeah, 100%. I feel that this was orchestrated. 100%. I should show you the sparkly pillow. So, yeah. Now what? Okay, so then they say, first they said, oh, the two National Guardsmen were unalived, but they're not, so they don't know what's going on. And then 45 says the shooter was from Afghanistan. Now, I don't know if he's still alive, but, and it starts to say horrible things about foreigners in Afghanistan, etc. They gave him asylum. His administration, a couple months ago, gave this guy asylum. So then instantly I think, oh, well, they did that because they were planning on using him like a Manchurian candidate. They were going to use him for this event. How many other people does he bring into the country and give, like people from, Africa, and that he's had these people that they're South Africa that they brought in, and Russia. And I have a story about that. Okay. Now here's the main thing. I feel like 45 let this guy in, let him have asylum in our country because he was going to use him for a false flag event. And then what? They just discarded him. He probably got some money. I don't know. Okay. So a while back, Elon had on X the thing where it showed where all the MAGA bots were from, and there was from massive MAGA bots all over the world, not America, all over the world. And then that's discovered. Then he turns it off, and you can't see where they're from anymore. He puts like a VPN on, you can't see it. I feel he does that on purpose because he's sort of like saving his proverbial arse so that all this information comes out, and then he's like, oh, whoops, it was a technical error. And it showed the Department of Homeland Security was based in Israel. I mean, I was like, are we going to do something about this? So here's my feeling. I feel like 45 gets his orders from Russia, from Putin, from Israel, from now with his Middle East. He met with the 9/11 people that he had in the White House, and they were smirking. I feel like he's getting orders from them, and probably money. It's probably a money exchange. This is why he shouldn't have been on the ballot. He stole the top secret documents, put him in Mar-a-Lago, had him in the bathroom, shipped him all over the place. There's probably some in his golf course and where Ivana is buried, and that's why he shouldn't have been on the ballot. He's playing games with our top secret information with other countries for entertainment purposes only. So, Hassad, I just got the word. Okay, so I feel like he was told to put Hegseth in. Hegseth is just like a mule. He doesn't know. He's just getting orders from other countries. And then Kash Patel orders from other countries. They don't really know what's going on. They're just doing the work of other countries that are paying them to do this for entertainment purpose only. I don't think that the U.S. government is the U.S. government. I think it's another country. We've been sold out. That's what I think. So yeah, the Epstein files, everything else, bad, they're coming out. He's going to keep, but I really think that what's happening is he's getting orders from other countries, and he's because of money exchange. The U.S. government is no longer the U.S. government. I really feel that. And so what do? We've been infiltrated. I kind of said this. I said this before the election because I started to ask people. I asked MAGA, and man, they went crazy when I asked this. I said, if you had a choice, if you had to vote for Kamala or Putin from Russia, who would you vote for? If those were your only choices. And they said, well, I wouldn't vote for Kamala. And I said, well, that means you'd vote for Putin. That means you're voting for Russia, which is like our adversary, not our friend. Well, I wouldn't vote for Kamala. It's like, well, then you're an enemy. You're allowing Putin to take over. So you're voting for Putin. And they got so mad. And that's really what I saw was happening. That Trump 45 was really placed by Putin. I believe that back in 2016. Russia, are you listening? I believe that. Now, but what are we going to do? He should be removed from office. Obviously, he should be removed from office. He should not have been on the ballot. He should not. I 100% feel the election was stolen. He's illegitimate. He didn't even put his hand on the Bible. It wasn't even on live TV. Even the whole thing was just so. I don't know. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? I don't know what we're gonna do, but something has to be done. He should be removed from office, 100%, and we should directly find out. We have intelligence. Hopefully, we still have intelligence. It's not all Russia and Assad and all that, but we should be able to use our Secret Service to find out who we're playing with here, who really owns America, who owns America. So that's what's my prediction. I think 2016 is going to be huge. I think there's going to be a lot of revelations. I do feel that, as I've said, the Epstein files are basically going to ruin 45 because he did some horrible things. It's not just about him being gay. I think it's going to show he's gay. Has not just gay, but had, as I said, an equal opportunity abuser of human beings and especially children. And there's nothing wrong with gay. Again, I support the gay community. I feel I'm part of it. I feel I'm LGBTQ plus. But I think it's really what he did to children and unalived children. So, and videos, pictures will show this. I just heard where the body's hidden. So, but these, when we fully find out, like MTG, I think, as much as I still don't trust her, I have to say, she's doing our dirty work for us. And I have always said that if MAGA would just turn into, help the Democrats and go against 45, they could be very powerful. The way that they're so determined and so loyal to 45. Well, if they turn that against him and became loyal for just America and actually democracy, they could be great because they have that tenacity. And I think MTG is a great example of that. When they finally leave 45, but they use that same tenacity to fight against him, it could be very powerful. And she's showing that. So I think that people like her and others are really going to be instrumental in bringing him down. Bless his health. He's obviously not very healthy. And I don't wish anyone harm, but he's a horrible person. I mean, I think the day when he finally moves on from this earth, and again, I don't wish anyone harm, but when 45 is finally gone, it really is going to be like the Wizard of Oz. When the house falls on, the Wicked Witch of the West, or what have you. And all the munchkins come out, and then Glenda the Good Witch shows up, and it's like, wow, look at the new world, the curse is gone. He's like a curse. He really is. 45 is like a curse. And no, I don't care about Vance. Vance is bad, he's horrible, but poor Usha, by the way. I really feel bad for her and the children. 45 is a cult of personality like we've never known. I mean, he really is like the Antichrist, and he attracts all the worst people. Everything that you could think of that's the opposite of good and normal and healthy and right and truth is what he does and what he stands for. And people like Caroline Levitt, when she was out there saying that, he was just speaking the truth when he told the reporter, quiet, piggy. He's just telling the truth. Well, how about we tell the truth? You can't say what I want to say. I mean, it goes both ways. I would love it if reporters would just say to her in a 45, quiet, piggy, or just, how about quiet, Levitt? Because, same equation of words and meaning. But I would pay somebody to say to 45, quiet, piggy, in his face, you lie, or something like that. Judas, you lie. I would pay. Yeah, I mean, when they come out and they say things and they say, well, that's the Democrats are lying and the Democrats are, blah, 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 blah. I just would love it if people would understand that everything they say is a lie, because they're in the opposite, we're in the upside down, and everything they say is a lie, and everything they do is bad. Literally. Don't listen to them. It's the direct opposite of the truth. Everything he does and says and everything they do and say, it's the direct opposite of truth. And like Kristi Noem and the whole thing with, it's just, we're at a fever pitch right now. It's really bad with the icy roads, people. It's just really, really, and everything. But here's the key thing. The Epstein files are going to come out. It's bad. Even if they scrub his names, we're going to figure out that XYZ that's been blacked out of the papers did this and that to 10-year-old child, and that child was unalived. Well, you go figure who the common denominator perpetrator is that's blacked out. Pretty much, can you assume that all the blacked out names are 45? So anyway, I'll stop. Yeah, my predictions are that those that we're going to get that information and put two and two together, and it'll match up. And the non-disclosure agreements of these victims, and I've said this for years, the non-disclosure agreements of girls that he walked in on and approached at his Miss USA or Miss Teen contest that he owned, which is creepy. They will get to cancel their non-disclosure agreements and talk, and my God, we will be shocked. This isn't just Access Hollywood, it's bad. And so in 2026 is going to be huge. We're finally going to get out of this hell that has been 2025. And I will say this Mercury retrograde this November has been horrible. And I don't know anyone out there that did not go through November and have something horrible happen to them. So 2026, I do feel is going to be a lot better, and I think it's going to bring his passing and frailty of health, and maybe the passing is, as I've said before, just him not being able to fulfill the office anymore because he's so frail. And I mean, you see it when he walks down the stairs of the Air Force One. He could barely do it, but he's so prideful. He will not stop this stupidity of, I mean, what's wrong with he's got one leg that I swear looks like it's part of it was amputated, and he's got like a wooden leg underneath. I mean, something's wrong. He's not okay. His health is horrible. He's barely hanging on. And 2026 is going to bring about his downfall. I really feel that. And, well, anyway, you guys, thanks for watching. You have a wonderful Thanksgiving. And stay positive, because I do feel it's going to get better. It's bad right now, but it's, we're not out of it yet, but lots of truths revealed. Lots of them. We pretty much know everything now. So, oh, the other thing is he's trying to sell the White House. I feel that he's trying to sell the White House. He wants to have the whole thing demolished. I've always said that. And he wants to move next door to the Eisenhower building, because it looks regal. It looks like a Moscow palace. So he really wants to destroy the entire White House. I hate to say that, but that's his plan. I don't feel he'll be able to do it, but it is his plan. So, all right. Thanks for watching, and have a great day. Happy Thanksgiving. Bye.